Alright, I just wanted to do a quick video about Phil Mason, Thunderfoot, and kind of why I think he went wrong, where he went wrong. He talks a lot about feminism and social justice warriors and how they destroyed the atheist community. And while this is true, I think that there is an underlying truth that he's missing altogether. And the fact that the reason why the community was open to having all of these new leaders who had no cachet in the atheist circles just come in and rewrite all the rules, I really believe was due to a lack of leadership. If you had, strong leaders in the atheist community who were, willing to meet these people and say, this is acceptable, this is unacceptable, we're not going to kowtow to you because, you haven't been in this community, you're not part of this community, you can't come in and demand all these changes. If you had those kinds of people, then you probably would have had a situation where, the feminists and social justice warriors found that they had no purchase in the community and just backed off. You see this a lot with the alt-right and conservative groups who refuse to kowtow to feminist and social justice warrior demands. And so the feminists actually just usually leave them alone. And I do want to point to the tragedy that this is because atheism was becoming an actual movement. Not only were more people becoming atheists, and it was like a topic of conversation. People were talking about, Richard Dawkins and, the God delusion. More people felt safe leaving religion altogether, but also starting to act as a voting bloc. Black people in America, there's only like 12% of the people in America are black, but there's like 15% of the people in America are atheists. So it's probably less than that, but different polls find different things. If you had atheists voting as a bloc the way African Americans vote as a bloc, you would be more powerful than the African American demographic, which is huge. I mean, think of how often we talk about African Americans, how often politicians talk about African Americans. You could have that same energy and that same force dedicated to atheists. Atheists getting called and saying, "Hey, how can we get your vote? Can we get your campaign for us?" It's interesting. If you did have a leader like Thunderfoot getting calls from Hillary Clinton and saying, "Hey, what can I do to get you on the campaign trail?" That would be incredibly powerful. Think of what we could do as far as protecting atheists who live in religious parts of the country, or protecting just the right to be an atheist in American life. Anyways, I think there was a huge vacuum of leadership in the atheist community, and that's really why you got it was so easy to come in and just hijack, and then now atheist meetups are kind of a joke, as Thunderfoot points out. And I do want to point to, I think there's a good reason for this, and I think Phil Mason is probably at the heart of this issue. The problem with intellectuals generally is that they tend to be very good, very smart and educated in one specific field, and very uneducated in many other types of fields. And you see this with Thunderfoot. He doesn't really understand economics very well, or politics. He's very ignorant on both of those things. And the way he talks and the videos he makes on the issue are really just super cringeworthy, because it's clear that he hasn't put in the work. He hasn't read the studies. He hasn't read the landmark books or the political thinkers. And here he is talking about how other people... Oh, anyways, here he is attacking other people. And I do want to point to Stefan Molyneux. What the interaction they had was really, really tragic. Whether you like Stefan Molyneux or not, his understanding of politics and the economy is much better than Phil Mason's. And instead of engaging Stefan Molyneux on the facts, he basically just personally attacked him. The same thing he accuses social justice warriors of doing, Phil Mason himself did. Very sad, very tragic. And this has the effect of dislocating the community. Now people who are atheists from Stefan Molyneux, I remember the first time I found Stefan Molyneux was actually because he was making a video on being an atheist. And there's no reason why you shouldn't have a huge overlap between these communities, have these communities grow, become more powerful, join together. People who are libertarians would it would more likely flow into becoming atheists because they see these ideas attached, and so many people share both of these ideas. You could get a real voting block going of people who are generally atheists, and instead you pick out, Phil Mason picked out this random thing, their political ideology, and said these people are persona non grata. These people are stupid. These people don't belong in our community. And what happens is, so anyone who was previously an atheist and subscribed to Thunderfoot is now says, oh, you don't want me here. You don't want me part of the community. Fine, I won't go. I won't show up. I won't even subscribe. And this is actually kind of true with me, but actually a lot of people I know really were upset with what Thunderfoot did. I was a subscriber of Thunderfoot. I still am a subscriber, I'm pretty sure. I haven't actually checked in a while. But I really lost a lot of respect for him, and I know that if he can speak about the topic like this, if he can act so sure on things that he's clearly wrong about, what else is it that he talks so sure about that he doesn't actually understand when he talks on his channel? When you're dishonest in one area, people start to question if you're dishonest in another. And when you segment groups like this, like Phil Mason should have seen that Stefan Molyneux was an atheist, invited him into the fold on the basis that he's an atheist with a huge subscriber base. And from there, said, look, we can have conversations and disagreements about these other issues like government or society or whatever, but we welcome you as an atheist in your capacity as an atheist. I think that would have been a much better way to get people from Stefan Molyneux to convert into the general atheist community. Anyways, stuff like this really does have a damaging effect. People who previously liked Stefan Molyneux aren't going to trust Thunderfoot. People who trust Thunderfoot aren't going to like Stefan Molyneux, and basically it makes it impossible for one leader to arise. This was also happening, before, but this is just a really stark example of it. And I think this is why the atheist community had no leaders, and why it was so easy for outsiders to come in and absolutely destroy the community, hijack it, turn it to their own cause. Instead of atheism being about protecting atheists, it became about protecting black people or protecting women, and then the whole thing fell apart. Anyways, just some thoughts. I hope you see this Thunderfoot. If anyone has any thoughts, please leave them in the comment bar. Have a great day. Bye.